what it is that we're going to do. Now, there are three parts to this project, three very distinct parts. There's what I call the plug, the content, and the experience. Now, they're very three distinct things, and then we'll take three teams that will be tackling each one of them. Now, I'm going to talk about the plug. Think of the plug as the frame of a building that's going to hold all of education. Now, the same frame was built, well, a similar frame, not the same frame, was built by Wikipedia for textual learning. That frame, when it came to market, had really no content in it. They had some content, but really what they did was they showed, hey, look what you can do with this, and voila. In a course of a number of years, 3 or 4 years, whatever it was, over 1 million pages, over God knows how many contributors, they basically created the most comprehensive global encyclopedia. So the plug is going to be a very similar framework, but our framework, the plug, is going to have based on Media 3.0 technologies. It's open source. It's multi-touch technology, and it is what the name we call it is a Winky tube. It's like a television that you can manipulate. It is like video that you can play with like putty. And what you will be able to do is whatever you can imagine with a video. And people will create what we call modules and plugins for this video player. And ultimately, it's going to be what will be used to develop the content. All right? So that's the plug. Now, the second thing is the content. And you say, well, where is the content going to come from global education? Well, to flatten global education. Well, the content already is there. And it's not, some of it is in video, and some of it in lectures. It's on MIT World. It's all over the internet. It's on YouTube, some of it. But I would say 99% of it is sitting on television reels. We have 50 years of global television to meta-tag. That's right, 50 years. How long will that take? Well, if the project happens in China and we can assemble a force of 1 million people taking all of their television content, or even let's say 100,000 people, not even 1 million, who are volunteers, or we'll pay 10,000 managers who will be responsible for their volunteers. I think we could do it relatively quick. I think we could probably meta-tag the entire lot of Chinese television in the 2 or 3 years that it's going to take for us to develop this project. So, and we're going to meta-tag it using an open source video player that is part of the plug. So what will happen is, whether you're watching, whether you're playing you're playing whatever video, the videos will play in this media player, no matter what it is, you'll be able to meta-tag it. So whether you're watching television through the media player, whether you're watching it at YouTube through the media player will allow you to meta-tag this content, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to meta-tag it. And the way we're going to meta-tag it, first is going to be broad spectrum meta-tagging, which means what we'll do is say, oh, this is math, this is science, this is so-and-so, this video is so-and-so, 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 okay? And we may even create some intelligent software that's going to do the meta-tagging for us just by listening and finding, content. So we're going to meta-tag everything. Then we'll go through phase 2, which is more specialized meta-tagging, if it's math content, then you're going to go to the math panel, and we're going to break down the math content and say, where does it fit in? Is it high school math? Is it college math? Is it basic? Is it advanced? And we'll come up with a whole meta-tagging system for this. and there'll be drop-down menus. It's not, we're not going to let people write their own thing because we'll have to, you know, pull it into specific. The meta tagging, once it gets down to a very specific level of it, then what we can do is do more individualized meta tagging. So this could be quantum physics mathematics or something. Okay. So basically, we're going to turn all of the media content into Swiss cheese. Now, this is going to be a huge undertaking, and it's going to take volunteers and everything else. And you know, but again, if we're working in China and India, and or even Africa, we could probably get labor force really cheap to do this. So I'm not too worried about it as the cost-wise. So there's the content for education, and now you're going to take those that Swiss cheese content, pull it into WinkyTube, which is part of the plug, and you're going to use that to basically build what we call objective-based video modules. These are small video modules, and once you build the video modules, there's another component that we call like a GUI game or elastic game, or I can't remember what they call it, but basically it's open source game modules where you can basically take your learning objectives that you want your test, and you can take those learning objectives and put it into a simple game. So after the person watches your short little 3-4 minute segment, he's going to go and be able to take a little game, you know, play the game. And the community will play around, other members will add to it, improve it, add a new question, add new games. So, you know, maybe one video will have an assortment of 100 different games to choose from. And it'll be fun. Teachers will have fun making these games. Teachers will have fun, or whoever, making these objectives. You can do it on basket weaving, you can do it on anything. So as long, you know, you can search your heart's content, and you can sit there and just create objective-based video modules. And these are basically chunk-sized, digestible learning bits of video content. So the idea is we don't want to stick someone in front of a 3-4 hour lecture. Maybe you will as they get older, but as a child, what we're going to do is kind of keep the brain exercised by moving between content to content. And I'm kind of getting a little bit into the experience here. So, and I'll talk about the experience next. So I hope those are two. And the final thing is the experience, which I'll talk about next.